All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 56. I am your host, Frantic. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host,
Grunt. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Indeed, we are here to talk about gaming
And junk.
and junk. So, first
Wait
off,
a minute. You threw me for a loop. You didn't say video games and junk.
I did not. And as of last episode, I realized we don't talk about video games like primarily anymore. Not to say we don't talk about them, but I figured out that we talk about a lot of gaming related stuff. So I figure, why not change it up and stick with that for a little bit? Because that seems to be more encapsulating of what we tend to talk about.
I mean, gaming encompasses lots of stuff.
It does, and it's more catch-all because we've definitely shifted to just kind of, we game a lot, and let's just talk about that. So that's what we're going to talk about for the rest of our podcast. So, okay.
Until the end of time.
Till the end of time. Well, at least for now, let's get advertising out of the way. So, I got like a script for this now because I seem to forget somehow. Actually, this isn't even a good script to look at. Oh well, if you want to continue the conversation with us, you can head over to Twitter, and you will find pretty much everything you need to find. You can find the Frantic Talks Twitter account at Frantic_Talks. You can find me. I am at FranticJ3. You can find that way him. He is at Onyx. Oh yeah. He is Onyx Spartan. ONYX. ONYX Spartan. All one word. You can also find our special podcast host, Freak Show, at FreakShow187 because he likes to tweet puns. And he's also just in the list of Twitter people that I have in front of me now. You can head over to, I'm just going to do this in this order from now on because this works, twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word. You will find us live every Saturday, *, at 3 p.m. Eastern, *, or usually, whichever one you want to prefer. Because we don't always go live at Saturday at 3 p.m. Sometimes we go live at like 5. Sometimes we just don't have a podcast. It's easier to figure out when we're going to go live if you follow us on like Twitter, per se. Also, you can check out our YouTube channel, which is not as easily found via URL because it's a bunch of random numbers, letters, and all that fun stuff. So you could search on YouTube, or you could go to frantictalks.com, which is the next place to go to. That is where you can find all kinds of goodies like podcasts, cool articles, whether it's video games, or you can find magic-related stuff on magic.frantictalks.com. But most importantly, if you click into a podcast, you will find all the good stuff, including a link to the YouTube videos where you can find the video version of this podcast, along with subscribing on iTunes, a link to the Twitch account as well, and even SoundCloud, which is where the actual podcast gets uploaded. So, after that, the only thing left to add is Facebook, which is facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word, and that is where you will get a more Facebook version of Twitter, less frequently.
So what you're telling me is, if you want to find us, you should totally just search Frantic Talks, and that's how you find it.
Yes, or just type frantictalks.com. It will work 100%, and all this information can be found in the footer of our website. And the reason I say that specifically is because I literally just updated it.
It's true. Looks so much better now.
What's really funny is we'll get to our weeks in a second. I just wanted to say I was, when I was editing last week's podcast, I picked one of our random podcasts and just turned it on play while I was waiting on it to compile. And it was it was right after Thanksgiving last year. And it was really funny because I just go live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern normally because it's 5 p.m. Eastern now. And we'll get to that in a minute. So I got a really good kick out of that because it was the 3 p.m. Eastern Saturday usually does apply. Just a randomly selected podcast wasn't at the right time, so...
Man.
It was really good.
We swear, we do go live usually at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, we've been on a streak here. I think the past 3 or 4 weeks we've been live on time. Just sometimes stuff comes up, so...
Nice.
So that being said, that was part of my week. I'll get to the rest of it in it later. Grunt, how was your week?
It's been pretty busy.
Pretty weeky.
Weeky, yes. That's a weird word that you just had me say there.
I know, I wasn't...
Pretty sure it's not a word either, but hey, who knows?
Oh, most likely not.
I
can Google it real quick.
Go ahead. You go ahead and do that.
I'm going to mute my microphone. Keep talking.
I've been playing a lot of Destiny. this past week. We've been getting a little excited for the Age of Triumph that we briefly discussed last week. They had their reveal stream this past Wednesday, which I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit.
That is on the agenda. Also, wiki is not a word.
Thought so.
Weekly is.
Weekly, yes.
And not like, this thing happens weekly. Weak as in I'm physically weak with ly at the end. As in you are very... It's like an adjective. So, fun fact.
The more you know. This has been the More You Know segment of the Frantic Talks podcast, brought to you by Frantic J3.
And sparkling water. That's what I'm drinking.
And sparkling water. Okay. Shout out to sparkling water.
It's LaCroix. LaCroix? Sorry, keep going. It's your week.
But when I haven't been playing Destiny, I picked up playing Just Cause 3 again. Just because, why not,
He did it for us.
I've heard that pun twice now this week.
From me and Freak Show, and now you've done it. It has come full circle, everyone.
It has. But I think it has literally been a year since I last played that game before this week. It's a fun game. It still has a lot of the technical issues, which sometimes kind of drag it down and make it not so much fun. But
I'd expect that.
If you can get past those, it's a pretty fun game. Just mindless destruction in this video game world.
Yeah. I was really surprised. I think you tweeted an article. No, you shared on Facebook that there was a Just Cause movie happening.
Yes.
And then it occurred to me that it might actually have a story.
Yes. Just Cause having a story is kind of weird, but,
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that Michael Bay isn't directing it, to be honest.
He'll just, kick down the door, what's up, guys? I'm here to direct. And they're just like, yeah, you are.
Yes.
Let's just give into it.
Yes. Let's see. Yesterday, on Friday, I did a hard mode Wrath of the Machine raid. Ooh. Yes. We went through a fair amount of people from LFG to get to where we were. We didn't actually finish it. We were stuck on Vosik for 2, maybe 3 hours even. But once we finally got people in there to get through that, the rest of it was pretty easy until we got to phase 2 of Axis. Now, with that second part of that battle, you have to... there are 3 random players that are made empowered. There's cannons that the ones that aren't empowered have to pick up and shoot these servitors. The servitors drop a SIVA charge, and then usually your people that are empowered have to go and throw those at Axis to take a shield down. It wasn't difficult because we had the communication to make sure the empowered people were in the right spots when needed. Because when Axis teleports, you have to go and stun him by essentially dunking on him if you're empowered.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he can teleport to the left, right, or 2 places in the middle. So, you just need to have people covering those spots. And we got that. We had that down. It was just really weird things that kept killing us. Most of our deaths were because we jumped off the map. And what upset me just a little bit was we had Axis almost dead. We just had to do a little more damage to him, then he went to his final damage phase. It's kind of similar to Oryx. And all I had to do, he teleported to where I was watching, because I was empowered at the time. All I had to do was just jump up, stun him, and then we had to damage him and then finish it. I was a little out of position, so the jump was a little awkward, but I thought I could be fancy and sneak between Axis's shoulder and his head. But apparently I hit the hit box.
What was happening there?
Grunt Mom got a desk, and I think they're putting it together out there.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's the box you're hearing from it.
Yeah, it sounded like styrofoam breaking.
It probably was. But I decided to jump up, be fancy, like I said. Try and jump between his shoulder and his head, but I hit the hitbox and just kind of slid off of it. Or slid
past
him. So by the time I was able to get like on the ground again and change my direction to go in the right way. I missed the opportunity to slam on him, and he just said, "You know what? I want to hit a home run with a Titan," and just did his melee attack onto the ground that he does, and sent me flying off the map. So I was a little disappointed that I let the team down, but
that sounds crazy.
Because we had him so close. I had one job.
Yeah, well, I've been in those situations where you have one job and it's just in like the raids particularly, and it can pressure gets on. That's for sure.
Yes, I can't jump under pressure. I can't do it.
I feel you.
But outside of that, there's 2 hilarious D&D stories I'm going to end my week with. The first one was actually one I forgot to mention on last week's episode. So I've been playing D&D with Freak Show and a few of our other friends, like over Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And we were into this mansion. We were trying to go kill some person. We were in this mansion for where this person lives, and we decided, hey, let's search this empty dining room that, maybe there's some loot in there or something.
Yeah.
So after a small little confrontation with the guards, where the guards were just like, yeah, you guys can have free reign of the place. We don't care. Blood money goes a long way.
I can imagine so.
We just, we went back to the room to search it. I was the first one that said, I'm going to search this room, see if I can find anything. I rolled a search check, and I rolled a 1. So...
All right.
Yes, I decided just to curl up onto the nice, long dining room table and take a nap.
You guys have so weird crit fails. It's so funny.
Fun fact, that's like the 3rd or 4th time I've fallen asleep during something because I rolled a 1, so...
Oh, that's right. In Freak Show's campaigns, typically when you roll a 1, you just fall asleep.
Yes. Or you get dropped on your head. Not naming names or anything there.
Right. Shout out.
But Leek decided, I'm going to try and wake him up. Let's save this. Let's let him search for something. And I'm like, everyone's been rolling good. Leek has the unfortunate luck of always rolling 1s or low rolls in general on things that's really important. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what would be hilarious, Leek, if you rolled a 1 or something low right now? And sure enough, he rolled a 1. So Leek, too, is falling asleep.
Oh, great.
Freak Show decided to try and wake us up himself, and he rolled a 1, which is uncommon for him.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's fallen asleep. So we ended that campaign session by falling asleep on the table, while the rest of the 2 other of our party members were just kind of like, "What are they doing? What are they doing? What? Please, we have things to do." So we're in the mansion where we have to kill this guy, just sleeping on the table with guards not caring. And then this past session that we played, it involved a tiger, really angry tiger.
Not Tony the Tiger, huh?
Not, well, it might be. There was some mention of it possibly being Tony the Tiger, but I don't think anything came of it.
Oh, okay.
But essentially, it was the pet to the boss that we were supposed to kill, which the boss actually turned out to be the tiger because we were able to sneakily kill the boss, and the tiger was the real boss here.
Are we talking tiger like Ezekiel and his pet tiger?
Shiva? I don't know. Could be. I never thought of that. Oh my god, he better not have done that.
That's my favorite character, by the way. Not the tiger, Ezekiel. Anyways.
But yes. So the tiger at one point during the battle with it decided to jump on Leek and try to maul him. It did that. Leek, unfortunately, was, close to dying. So me being my awesome cleric, I decided I'm going to try and cast one of my Cure Moderate Wound spells on Leek. I rolled a low roll, and I ended up healing the tiger for the max amount of health I could possibly heal Leek for. So the tiger didn't have much damage to it, and I healed it instead of our party member who was just about dead.
And that's really funny because, I mean, I'll tie that into my D&D story. Not that didn't happen, but I do have a comment about it. Continue, though.
So that was the best part of that session. I tried to be a helpful cleric, and I just literally failed at that. So that's how my week and past 2 weeks for D&D have been. So how was yours?
Well, I had a very busy week. Maybe an understatement, but we'll see. I've done a lot this week in terms of games that I've played. Not gonna lie, it's been a lot.
Has that even been Dishonored 2?
No, that's the sad part.
It's okay, I'm here. I'm still there with you.
I'm trying to count how many games I've legitimately played this week. So, the lady friend and I found a game that we both enjoy playing together, which is Dungeon Defenders. It's like a wave defense game where you build different like towers or different stuff to fight off like goblins or orcs or something like that. You yourself can like shoot at them depending on your class. Like I'm like a little wizard's apprentice, so I use a staff. And we've tried other classes, but the apprentice is the coolest because they get like fireball towers and lightning towers and all this cool stuff. But so that's been one I played a decent chunk of. We beat a demon lord, which was like a really big boss fight, and we somehow beat him. I don't know how. Oh, apparently we're just good at the game. It wasn't on easy either, so that was definitely fun to try that. We've been playing that a decent amount. Other than that, though, I've been playing my mobile phone games, which just really comprises of DC Legends, which is what I've talked about and would definitely recommend if you haven't gotten to try it. They have a lot of good like daily ritual stuff that you can do that doesn't take terribly long. And also playing a little bit of Pokemon Go because, like I said before, as much as I've shit-talked the game, it's better now. It's fine. There's issues I have with it, but overall, it's something I can do with other people. So
it's a kind of a love-hate relationship you have with Pokemon Go right now.
Right, like I love finding new Pokemon that I haven't caught yet, and finding, I'm really close to having a Magneton finally, and all that stuff. But there's also issues that I have, but I don't want to delve into that. So I've played those on yesterday. No, I was going to say on like Friday, but then I realized it was yesterday. I played Magic with Luke, who is one of the writers on the Magic.FranTalks website, and also my go-to Magic buddy. We played yesterday. I almost said last Friday again. Man, I'm bad at this. We played yesterday.
Last Friday was technically yesterday, so you're not wrong.
And we also threw in something different into the mix. So we started with a couple of games of Commander, and then we pulled out our laptops and played the Pokemon trading card game on our laptops together. That's a lot of fun. The Pokemon trading card game is a lot of fun because they have this theme deck mode where imagine buying a starter deck from Magic and playing it in a tournament against other people who only have a starter deck. But it might not necessarily be a tournament, it's just like a versus mode. That's been a lot of fun to play that because we were both just kind of like, oh, what are you going to do? And like we kind of like comment on each other's games. And it was a lot of fun. We did that for a decent amount and then wrapped the night up with the last Magic game. And I think we both won 2 and lost 2. So overall, it was fun. I got to try out my new commanders, or my newly forged commanders, I guess is the best way to put it, Zedru and Cedris, whose names I keep mixing up because they're so similar.
I can see it.
They've come out fun. I realized that Cedris hits like a train, and Zedru has hilarious combos in it that I never realized. Basically, I have ways to go infinite like 6 different times, along with really funny, just like, I play this stupid uncommon from 8th Revolt. Oh, everybody took 30 damage? My bad, guys.
Oh my god.
It really can happen that way. It literally takes like 3 cards. It takes Panharmonicon, which is already a stupid card. It lets your abilities trigger twice when they enter the battlefield. Along with something like Perforos, God of the Forge, who says if a creature enters the battlefield, deal 2 damage to your opponents. And you tie that into a creature that puts other creatures into play. Like, I don't know, the Whirler Virtuoso dude, or whatever his name is, from 8th Revolt, that's just a 2/2 with flying that puts 2 Thopters into play. And he triggers to put 2 more Thopters into play because of Panharmonicon, and triggers Perforos like 6 times, and it just goes... it just exponentially grows.
That is so dumb.
And there's an enchantment that does what Perforos does, but -1, so it's just 1 damage. So if you have both of those, plus these 2 other cards, it's technically a 4-card combo, but it hits everybody. And it's just like, oh, my bad, guys, I didn't mean to do that. Or did I?
Oh my god, that is so dumb.
It was really great. And then I found infinite combos with that same stuff with the dude who blinks things. He can blink himself and it just goes infinite. And I was like, oh god, that can happen in currently the current draft format. It's actually a Kaladesh Aether Revolt draft combo that requires you pull a specific rare and 2 specific uncommons. And you can do it. You also have to play 3 colors, but it's hilarious.
Interesting.
So that was really fun to do that. It's been a lot of what my week was, just playing a lot of different stuff, reading a lot of different comics. That's kind of what I do, and also D&D. So that's another game I played. So I mean, we're tallying up to like 6 or 7 games in this past week that I've played. None of them being Dishonored 2. I thought about that earlier today. I was a little upset, but you know. So my D&D story is gonna be quick. Every Thursday I play D&D at the Lady Friends work. They have like a work thing where they organized it, and there's a bunch of groups that play during, it's after hours, of course. So we're in one of the groups, and it's been interesting. I'm playing a Tiefling Warlock, which is kind of like a half-demon Warlock, who has a hilarious backstory. In D&D 5th Ed's what we're playing. I've never played 5th Ed before. They do a lot of help to like craft your character's backstory, and you get certain things based on that. So my character is like this hermit who believes in this great power that's granted him these, magical abilities. And being a hermit, he rolled different personality traits that are just hilarious. I was like, I feel like I should be a lawful evil character. Like, I want to impose my will on others. And so, what were his character flaws, you ask? Thanks for asking. It was... I'm just being dumb. He wants to destroy evil. So that's pretty lawful in general, depending on the way you lean. And he also harbors dark, bloodthirsty thoughts. Wait
a minute, what?
Yeah, it works. Don't worry. He is oblivious to social etiquette. Those are his issues. So he has no idea how to be around people. He thinks very bad thoughts about everything, and he wants to destroy evil. So we work. The way the campaign works out is we're like a task force type thing that we work for the city, but the city's kind of corrupt, and my character's current thought line is I must destroy the evil of corruption, so I will infiltrate this task force and work my way up the ranks to kill the evil that runs it.
Could be interesting.
That's my current motivation. And so right now we're looking to get this like dwarven like magical orb thing. We're not sure what it looks like, but we'll know it when we see it, is what we were told. So we go to these dwarven ruins and run into a minotaur outside. Nothing really crazy happens except, well, I'm going to preface this. I jumped ahead in the story. One of my character's spells is called Witch Bolt, and I need a twig from a tree that was struck by lightning. Now that's very hard to come by. Well, we found a bottle of lightning. That's a real thing. You just chuck this bottle and it explodes with lightning. So I found a bottle of lightning, bought it from this guy, and hadn't come across any trees since I bought it. And when we finally get into this forest, I was like, I'm going to find the biggest tree with all the twigs. And I'm just going to chuck this fucking lightning bottle at it. And he goes, yeah, the tree explodes. I was like, oh, hell yeah. So to preface it with that, I now use this Witch Bolt, which you can imagine as if you ever watched Harry Potter, when Harry will, like, he'll cast his spell, and they'll be... I actually have a wand, by the way, so this is the best metaphor I can ever think of. Or comparison is the right term. You cast the spell and they're interlocked and they're just like holding their wands and it's like erupting and there's all kinds of like lights going off and they're just like in this entwined thing with a beam of light coming out attacking each other. That's the best way to describe it, because I can just shoot lightning from my twig and then I can hold on to it each turn, assuming I don't do anything else. So I can literally, I can move, but I can seriously just like Kamehameha wave and just hold it on somebody. And it's really funny because it deals a lot of damage. So we do this to this Minotaur. The Minotaur like crit fails on a hit and throws his axe into a tree essentially. And it was really great. We killed the Minotaur and then we go into this dwarven ruin that's this big puzzle. And the puzzle goes something along the lines of we have to have 3 people stand on pressure plates to get the doors to open. Then we have to have someone run through the rooms to find what to hit, all these different buttons. And so each room, there's 2 rooms, they have these eggs on pedestals, like these fancy egg-looking things. And we can't figure out what to do with them. And in one of the rooms, it's just the egg on the pedestal and then a doorway with a button. And we went up and we had the high dexterity character of all people go up and press the button. and he had to do a reflex save. So we lucked out. An acid spit out of the button, and he dodged it. He was good. So we're like, okay, don't push that button. And then I got the idea to push the button again.
Oh, God, why?
Well, I had a theory, and this is my programming coming out, that we haven't tried every combination of things. Sure enough, 5 button pushes later, not kidding, we figured it out. He dodged every single acid spray that came out, but God, was it funny when they were like, oh my God, that didn't work, stop having me push the button. I'm like, wait, we didn't try this.
Oh my God.
And what ended up being the solution was taking the egg and pressing the button, which we hadn't figured out yet. We were just having him push the button while we stood in different places.
So you took programming logic and applied it to D&D.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's pretty great. And then lastly, we get to this room after all this shenanigans here, and there are 2 chests, and there's 2 pedestals for these eggs. So I go up to one chest, put the egg on the pedestal, it cracks open, we find some loot. I was like, oh, sweet. And then I go over to the other one. Well, first I take that egg off the pedestal, and I go to the next pedestal, put the egg on, and then the chest comes alive because it's a chest mimic and wraps me with its tongue, and then we have to fight it. But what happens is we're fighting this thing, and the dwarf goes, oh, okay, hang on, guys, give me the other egg. And he goes and puts it on the pedestal, and then 5 robots come out of sleep, essentially. There were 5 statues that were robots that were sleeping, and when he put the eggs on the pedestal, on both pedestals, they waken. So not only am I wrapped by this chest, I'm also now having 5 robots that come alive and start attacking us.
Sounds like that could be a problem.
I mean, we finished it. It was just like, God damn it. Stupid dwarf. Oh, it was funny.
Yeah.
So that was basically my week. I know that went on a lot longer. We honestly don't have terribly too much to talk about. We're going to talk about the Destiny live stream, where we'll talk about, Age of Triumph in a little more depth compared to our speculation that we had. So I guess I should get the browser up. Please work. Please, for the love of God, it worked.
Good.
We're good.
Nice to see a stern discussion with the browser before going live worked.
You're going to work.
But that's literally what you said.
Okay, time out. Okay, so up on the screen now is Frantic Talk's website, like we had mentioned before. If you want to check out all our other podcasts, you can go here. You can also see, still on screen, the video game movie article that Grunt wrote. Still not going to spoil it. Go check it out. Speaking of movies, that was a great way to tie into the topic of I saw Logan this past week.
Man, it's almost like you planned to do that.
Almost. Not entirely, but almost.
I've heard a lot of good about this movie.
Yes, it is a very good movie. Now, no, don't worry, I will not spoil anything. I don't really necessarily want to even say what the premise of the movie is. All I can say is that we know this is Hugh Jackman's last movie as Logan, as Wolverine in general. That was announced much before the movie came out. So if you're just now hearing that, my apologies. I will not try to spoil anything else. That doesn't even really tell you what happens in the movie either. So this is a very, very good movie. It's rated R, and I love it, and I'm also sad because now, since this is his last movie, I'm really sad that it took him this long to do a quote-unquote proper Wolverine movie. Because in the comics, Wolverine's is like this, he's this, what's the right term? God, I can't think of it. He cusses a lot, he just kills everything. What's the right term for that? I can't...
well, vulgar is one thing I can think of.
Yes, vulgar, because I was thinking vagrant, and I was like, that's not the right word.
That's definitely not right.
I knew it started with a V, so he's this vulgar character, he's got an attitude, he doesn't shy away from killing people, and up until this point, he's just been this, like, lone wolf type dude who is not the nicest, but they don't really show anything. And this movie is absolutely rated R, I will say that without a doubt. I mean, I know it is, but, I mean, you watch it and you know. There's blood everywhere, there's the F-bomb everywhere, it's great. And it's what you expect.
They kind of go and follow more so the comics instead of their own movie?
Well, the specific story, I'm unaware. But yes, it seems like it is a much more...
Character personality, I guess, is what I was trying to focus that question towards.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the overall storyline, similarities, but it's its own thing, so I'm sure they're different.
Yeah, it's good. And they introduce X-23 which is another character from the comics that if you know who it is, you'll know. If not, it's okay. They do a very good job of setting her up, and the actress they cast is great. It's a little girl, and you probably knew that from the trailers. And it's a heartfelt movie at the end. Made me feel emotions, and I just think it was a very well done movie. About damn time they did this right. Is the best way to put that. So, also this isn't really a spoiler, but there isn't anything after the credits. They actually put the after credits scene before the movie because they wanted it to end on the note that it did without like throwing in some other random stuff. In the after credits scene, or the before credits, not before credits, literally before the movie, it's just a Deadpool thing, and it's really funny and really cool. So you'll see it immediately. It's a lot of fun. It got posted on like YouTube if you want to watch it there too. But I would definitely recommend this movie if you're even a remote fan of comic books. It's definitely violent and gory and all that fun stuff, and it really does justice to all the characters. It's great. And it's, like I said, it's sad. It made me feel feelings a lot of the time. It takes place around 2026, and there's a lot of connecting the dots of what's happened since they went back in time, all that fun stuff in Days of Future Past, and then everything that happened in Apocalypse, like connecting the dots of filling in the gaps from the 80s to 2026. There's 40 years there, so they do a very good job of just about everything. Like I was telling my lady friend and all the people that we went and saw it with, I was like, this is one of those movies that is great. They didn't have a Deus Ex Machina to like come in and save them when they were in their dire moments. They didn't have anything that was established that would fix something or that ended up working in their favor was established. It wasn't just randomly thrown in. They did really good cinematography. There wasn't just like blatant things like you're 5 years old, I must tell you exactly how this works. It was kind of put the puzzle together yourself, but it's not too astronomical to figure out. It was just really, really good. So I loved it. One of my favorite ones I've seen in a long time, and I would definitely go see it again. So if you're looking to go see that, absolutely go see it.
Sounds like it was a very good movie. Might have to see if I can catch it at some point.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. So, that being said, we'll move on to our last topic here, the Age of Triumph reveal trailer stream thing. I said trailer, stream is really what it was. Lots of fun stuff's coming to the final years of Destiny, or final months of Destiny 1 before we get into Destiny 2, and it looks great. I am so excited that I already asked for the Wednesday off and got approved so I can play Tuesday night into Wednesday with you guys. It'll be a lot of fun. Grunt, why don't you give us the highlights?
Well, to start things off with, it's going to have the largest record book in Destiny once the update comes out, which it will come out March 28th if his indication of when he's taking the day off wasn't any signifier of that.
Right.
But Age of Triumph will release on March 28th. It will be the final live update event for Destiny 1. Like I said, the largest record book that is going to be in the game. I think they said 13 pages for it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's going to have all kinds of accomplishments from back from when the game first came out to through the various DLCs that came out. It's going to have some stuff focusing on character classes specifically. So if you main 3 hunters, you might want to maybe consider that later on.
If you're going for completion, that is.
If you all are for completion. There's all kinds of other stuff that they're going to be doing. There's a page for raids, strikes, Vanguard items, Vanguard like story missions and that. That's Vanguard missions to me.
Yeah.
There's even a page for the lovable Trials of Osiris in there.
There is. Just about everything is in this book, and that's what I would expect. It seems good.
Yes, and from what I have gathered, it doesn't sound like you're going to need to finish all the nodes in it for 100% completion.
Yeah, because it's like the main thing would be there. If you weren't here for the Dark Below, you can't fill in that node.
Right.
So, people who join later that are obsessed with getting 100%, even though theoretically that's not 100%, they could still do so.
Right. And as with record books before, as you complete these nodes and unlock them, you'll also unlock emblems and other rewards to use in the game. And if you get high enough, you might even get a shirt. Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah. that threw me through a loop.
Yes, I'm actually really anxious for that because they did something similar with I think it was the Moments of Triumph before Taken King, or when Taken King came out.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it would have been for Rise of Iron. So the last stuff from Taken King until Rise of Iron came out, they did something similar to that, where if you finished your record book, you got a little code unlocked in the game. You went to the Bungie store and you could buy a shirt for not $7,777. It's only like 25 or something like that, normal shirt price, but it was a discount code for a huge chunk of that money.
Okay, yeah. That's just funny.
Yes, I never collected the calcified fragments or finished King's Fall on hard mode to get that, so I'm anxious to see if I can finish it. This record book, the Age of Triumph book, to maybe get that. That might be cool.
I mean, that sounds like it would be.
It would be. Let's see. What else did they mention? Something about raids?
I want to say that raids are getting updated.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, maybe you're mixing what I predicted with what they said. Now, I said they'd bring all the raids up to light level.
Oh, well, that's exactly what they're doing.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, I didn't predict that they'd be updating them also, because they are changing some things about them, but they haven't said, and they won't say. They want you to go find out for yourself.
Of which I'm perfectly okay with.
It's
going to be like running through the Vault of Glass for the first time ever again. Where is that 7th chest?
Exactly. So that is awesome. There's also weekly raids, if I'm not mistaken, like a weekly challenge raid, essentially.
It's a weekly featured raid, they said. They didn't divulge too much on that because that's going to be... The weekly rituals are going to be covered in the next stream this coming Wednesday. What is it? The 15th?
Yes.
Yeah, so the weekly rituals like that will be talked about more on that day, on that stream. They did say that they kind of gave a rough schedule as to when. I don't know whether once the update comes out, if all the raids are going to be brought up to the new level or if they're going to release them gradually. But the first raid that we'll get access to is this weekly featured raid is going to be Crota's End.
Yes. Now, I watch a couple of people on YouTube, and I watched a couple of recaps just to make sure I was up to speed. And I did hear that what this means is that all challenge modes in the raid are active versus just one weekly challenge mode.
Yes, you heard that. Challenge mode for Crota's End and Vault of Glass.
Yeah, so they all are getting challenge modes, which if I understand correctly, they didn't have those originally, right?
They did not. The challenge modes were introduced with the King's Fall raid.
Okay, so that was when that's when I did my first raid, so
yes.
That's cool to hear. And there was something else. The schedule of the featured raids is supposedly in release order.
Right.
So you would do Crota's End, or Vault of... Oh, I just prepped my mic. It was like Crota's End, Vault of Glass, King's Fall, and then Wrath of the Machine was what I heard.
Right. That's the quote-unquote release schedule for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if like when Age of Triumph comes out, if all the raids are going to be there up to their new levels, or if like until the Vault of Glass is the featured raid, if it will just be the level 26 and 30 versions of it. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work. It's something they were fairly vague on, or I just totally spaced out and missed it, which is easily possible.
I imagine they'll be up to light level.
Right, because I really want to get back in the Vault of Glass. I want my Fatebringer.
Yeah, and that's something everyone's really excited about. Is not only are the original like raid weapons and loot and stuff coming back up to light level, there's also what seems to be, I don't know if it's new raid specific gear, but at least some really cool raid specific looking gear.
Yes.
To name a few that we've seen screenshots of, for instance, in this blog post, which I'll scroll down here, is a picture of a hunter with a Vex leg and a kick-ass looking cloak. So
yes, the new armor will have ornaments on it, they said. So I'm assuming stuff like that might be ornaments, or the new armor is going to make you look like a Vex.
Yeah, that seems really, really cool. And it's going to be really exciting to get to play through all of these raids with a proper challenge level, because I know I've played through all of them all at least once. I've only done Vault of Glass once, and I vaguely remember it. But I remember it not being too terribly hard, because we all knew what we were doing and we were over-leveled. King's Fall, that's a little different. We only ever beat that twice, but yeah.
Ugh, King's Fall. It's not my favorite, but...
yeah, King's Fall is rough.
Back through it again.
But yeah, it would be fun to just kind of revisit it. It's a long one. That's the problem, I'd say. But anyways, this is all super exciting. I'm really excited to get my hands on this when it does come out. Like I said, I'm taking a day off, and there's actually a week in the middle of summer that I have off for other things, but mostly to just kind of sit down and play more. So we might schedule some raids then too. Hell, might even stream them. Who knows? But
we totally should.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. We can definitely do it when this all comes out on Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, of course, the 28th. So it could be a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm anxious because bringing the raids back is something the community has wanted for a really long time, especially the Vault of Glass. So to get that one to come back and the rest of them, it's pretty great. It's a very fitting send-off to the final few months of Destiny 1 before Destiny 2 comes out.
Right. And I believe when they just did the stream, they kind of ran through a bit of the Vault of Glass, yes?
They did briefly one of the encounters for it during confluxes.
Right, and which the person I watched on YouTube who talked about it said that that part was was shortened because it used to drag on, according to a lot of the people who played it. Maybe I'm just using his words, not mine. So, right, if that's wrong, but it's a lot of awesome updates. And this coming Wednesday, the 15th, that is correct, is going to be the sandbox review, right? Weekly rituals. And then the week after that, the 22nd, will be sandbox updates. And then a week after that, 6 days after that, we will get the update live to our systems, probably around 10 a.m. Pacific. Don't quote me, but that's usually how they do it.
Totally quoting you on that.
Go for it. I mean, if I'm right, I'm right. If not, it's okay. I'm not putting money on this bet, so
Nothing to lose there.
So that's basically what they're going to be doing. You're going to get to do just about everything in the game at light level. You'll get a lot of awesome rewards for it. You'll get to make your character look kick-ass. Make sure you go to light level 400, which is staying at 400, which means I will finally have a max light level character when that's the max light level and not a previous max light level, because I never could do that. I've never done it. I've always been really close. I think I was at 334 when the Prison of Elders got updated, but
I think you were.
I was very close. I just wasn't 335.
Right.
So, anyways, I think that about covers it for Age of Triumph. Was there anything we missed, do you think? I mean, I can look at the quick notes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the only other thing is what's about adding Mayhem to the Nightfall, but we don't know yet, so we'll find out.
We'll find that out. We'll find out.
And we'll probably cover it next week in the podcast as well. So, I only have one other thing to say, and I'll get on to advertising. Tomorrow is Grunt's birthday.
Oh, wait, it is?
Isn't it?
It is, yes. Not back in February when I had a few people accidentally believing that. Whoops, my bad.
Grunt will be turning the ripe old age of something, and tomorrow is his birthday. I don't know if you wanted to share that. So
24, doesn't really matter.
He's got me beat. I turned 24 in May, so Grunt is older. Fun fact, guys.
Only by 2 months.
Yeah, I know, not by much, but so tomorrow is his birthday. I will let everyone know that I did indeed get him an awesome gift, 2 gifts that are coming in the mail. One shipped out from Syracuse, New York, should be there eventually. I've been checking the tracking number, and then the other one, I don't even know if that's shipped yet. I'll have to check that one. They're all related to his Scion of the Ur Dragon EDH deck. That
I should really get back to building that, though.
Well, hey, you'll be inspired to build them when you get what I sent you. I promise.
You're such a tease.
I really want to tell you, like, it's eating me up on the inside because I just want to be like, dude, I want these, but I gave them to you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. And I know Freak Show also sent you something. I don't know if he told you.
Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah, he showed me what it is. You'll like it.
Come on, that's not fair.
I told him
there.
He knows what you're getting too. By the way, I sent him a picture.
It's not helping. It's not helping at all.
Well, what matters is you got friends in high places. Not really.
I do.
But you got friends in eastbound places because we're east of you.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're
big time zones in that.
Make sure that when you listen to this podcast, even though it will be after his birthday, to wish Grunt a belated birthday if you had not already wished it to him. So, happy birthday, Grunt. It's early, but nonetheless, I hope you have a great birthday tomorrow.
Thank you. I'm sure I will.
I hope your favorite character doesn't die in The Walking Dead tomorrow night. And I doubt it'll happen. I don't even know who your favorite character is, but I'm actually following it vicariously. But
I don't even know my own favorite character.
As long as Ezekiel's good, I'm good. So, okay, we're going to move on to advertisements here, quote-unquote advertisements. And when I get you back into the Frantic Talks logo there, cool. Now I get to go to the footer so you aren't looking at the footer. That's the only reason I did that. Anyways, if you guys want to continue this conversation, feel free to. I would love you to. So that way we can talk more about the stuff we talked about and how excited you are. Really, that's 99% of my conversations is how excited I am about stuff. You can head over to Twitter. You can hit up @Frantic_Talks if you don't want to waste all your characters tweeting at me or Grunt. But if you want to tweet at me or Grunt, you can do @FranticJ3, which is I, me, whatever the right pronoun is. Or you can tweet at Onyx Spartan, ONYX Spartan, all one word, that is Grunt. Or, if you want to tweet at somebody who will just make a pun out of whatever you just said, tweet at FreakShow187, our lovely, lovely special podcast ghost, who is not here because he's a ghost. Hence the joke.
Poor ghost.
He used to be a guest, and then I said wrong words. So, also, if you want to check this out live, every Saturday normally at 3 p.m. Eastern, usually. I'm just going to keep changing the word that's there, apparently. You can
throw me off my game, man.
I know. You can head over to twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word. Like I said, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, usually, which was today. We got it today. We're doing good. If not, you can head over to frantictalks.com, which is where you can find all the podcasts that we post. Click into one. You'll find the audio version, the video version, which will also lead you to our YouTube channel, which 100 subscribers, I'll give you a URL so you don't have to listen to this long-winded discussion of how to find a YouTube channel. Then
you could just totally search Frantic Talks on YouTube too.
You could just search Frantic Talks on YouTube. Like us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/Frantic Talks. You'll get to see basically the abridged version of Twitter. And that about does it. Subscribe on iTunes, of course. That's where you can get the updated the audio forms of the podcast as well without having to go to our website. But come on, there's cool articles on the website.
Right.
Including in magic.frantictalks.com if you're feeling magic. You know, come on.
Wow. Wow.
What?
If you're feeling the magic. Really? Really?
Well, I gotta make up.
Disguise?
Well, he is a ghost. He could be possessing me.
It's true.
It's much more flavorful if he's a ghost from Destiny because we talk about that so much.
Yes.
So, either way.
Yes. I wanted to make a pun about Wolverine earlier, but I'm just like, no.
You should have. What was it?
You said something. He's like he's like a lone wolf in the comics or something, and I was like, you could say he's like a lone Wolverine. Yeah. And I'm just like, don't be Freak Show. Don't be him.
I feel like the listeners of the Frantic Talks podcast could quite enjoy some puns in their life. If not, let us know. Let us know if you don't want to hear puns. That doesn't mean we'll stop. Just let us know.
It's true. It's true.
All right, guys.
All right.
That about does it. This podcast goes live normally every Monday, so if you're listening to a previous version, which would be this one, I guess, whatever, you know what I mean. Mondays, you'll always want to pay attention to the Twitter accounts, the Frantic Talks website. That's when you'll see them. Or subscribe on YouTube and get them a day or two early. There's some incentive. Booyah. Done. All right, guys. I think that about does it for us. Do you have anything else to add, Grunt?
Rubber Ducky, you're the one.
Rubber Ducky, you're the one. Follow at RD Death Squad on Twitter. That is our Destiny clan. The Rubber Ducky Death Squad. All right, guys. I am Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
We'll see you guys next time.